gonna make some chicken salad, and I've got me 4 pretty chicken breasts right here, and I'm fixing to boil them till they get tender, and then we're going to make us some salad. Okay, I washed these breasts, and I've got them covered in water, and I'm gonna put them on high till they come on, and I'm going to put a little salt in it. And then after I get them on high and they start boiling, I'm gonna turn them down a little bit and let them boil till they get nice and tender this morning. Listen, we're having a cold snap in Andalusia. Do you know the farmers always say that we have a cold snap right before Easter? Well, this next week is Easter, so this coming Sunday. We've already had our Palm Sunday. And so now we're going to have Easter and we have the cold snap. But anyway, let's let these boil for a while and I'll be doing some other things. All right, I've got these 5 celery ribs that I have rinsed off, and I am going to get some of the strings off of them this morning. I don't like strings on celery, do you? It's got plenty of them in it. All right, so we're just going to get these off while our chicken's boiling. And y'all know now, when you're boiling for chicken salad, y'all please always save your broth. I know that you do, but that is some good stuff, that good chicken broth. So save that, and you'll be ready to make something good out of it. Chicken and dumplings, or some kind of soup. There's just so many things you can do with the chicken broth. Well, these are some stringy celery this time. We got to get all of that off. We don't want that in our salad, that's for sure. I'm telling you. Too bad I don't know anything to do with celery strings. What I do is just get up under it just a little bit like that. Just a little bit, and then pull, and you're going to get all that off, okay? It's just a part of preparing celery. I like it in anything. There's so many things you can do with celery and put it in so many things. Mother always at Christmas time, she would have those little tender parts of the celery, the ones that were in the center of the big celery. She would put cream cheese in it and cover it with pecans. We always nibbled on that while we were waiting for the meal. Okay, I've got them, all the strings off, hopefully. I'm going to cut them in long strips now. I don't want this to be big in my chicken salad. I want it to be just nice and small, but give that extra crunch that we're going to have in there. So I'm going to continue to do this until I get them all cut up. All right, I've got them all cut this way, long ways, and what I do now, I'm going to cut them in half, cut this in half, and then flip it back over here. That's going to make my work quicker and easier. There's an old ugly one. All right. You know, chicken salad is just something, if you just keep it in the refrigerator, you've always got something you can drag out just if you want a little snack. I like chicken salad sandwiches. I like chicken salad with crackers. I like chicken salad on a plate with just some tomatoes around it with a thing of lettuce. Kind of like a green salad but with chicken in it. It is so good like that. And of course it's got my favorite condiment. Some good old mayonnaise. All right, see, this was quick. It wasn't hard at all to do. I'm just cutting it real fine and small, and that I'll have that ready when the chicken gets ready. It's beginning to boil over here a little bit. I don't think you can see it. You can see the smoke coming up from it though, can't you? It's looking good. As soon as it gets to a boil, I'm gonna turn it down. I'm not gonna hard boil it because I want my broth left in there. And it won't take too long to do. This amount of celery ribs I think we said we did 5, didn't we? We had 4 big, those are huge breasts. So we're gonna have a big thing of chicken salad. That is for sure. I'm gonna put an apple in it. I'm gonna put some pecans in it. All right, we got that done. Now we'll go to the next thing. Hey, listen, what I'm doing now is I'm toasting me a cup of pecans to go in it. I've got them in the skillet with nothing in there, just plain old skillet to get hot. And I'm doing it on the low heat, about 4 or 5, something like that. Make sure you keep them kind of flipped over, because if you don't, they will certainly burn. They will certainly burn. I've got these big pecan pieces, large pecan pieces is what I've got to put in there. So I don't even have to chop them up, and I'm gonna put them in large. I don't like it real small. I like it kind of chunky. I cut our chicken up a little bit as it was cooking, so we could make sure that it was getting good on the inside. And I've got it still boiling real slow, and just everything to get all that great broth out of it, because I'm gonna make something other than chicken salad with this. I'm gonna use everything I've got in this kitchen. I can tell you that. Who was that guy on TV? I can't even think of his name. He'd say, I'll told you that. He'll say, I told you that. Anyway, I think this is about ready. I've got me an apple over here. Let me show you what I've got. I like apples. You can put a lot of different things in a, let me get my knife. What did I do with that? Come here, here it is. You can do a lot with, or put a lot in your chicken salad, but I like celery and apples. Sometimes I'll put in grapes to make it a little different, you know, and I like to put in the purple ones because it makes it colorful. But I'm going to, let me rinse this apple off real quickly. My favorite kind of apple to put in this is Honey Crisp. It's really crispy. So I'm just going to cut it like that, and I do not peel it. The peeling on this is real tender. Now, when you get a Red Delicious apple, sometimes the peeling is tough. I don't know what makes it that way, but it is. And so, I mean, I have had, my daddy he'd peel everything. I never did. But anyway, I'm cutting it up like this, just in little tiny strips. And then I'll go crossways, and I'll have little cubes to go in there. So I'm going to cut these up. It is chilly this morning, y'all, here in Andalusia. I mean, it is so chilly. But I'm glad I'm boiling something today. It'll heat up the kitchen. George's mother had a gas stove. And every morning, if we were spending the night with her, she would get up and she would turn on a burner on that gas stove. And she'd always say, I'm going to turn this on for a minute to get the chill out. That's what she would say. So I've got it in long strips. It kind of looks like French fries, doesn't it? Now I'm going to cut it crossways like this, and we'll have some little chips to go in our chicken salad. It'll almost be a fruit chicken salad, won't it? Let me stir my pecans real quickly. I don't want those burning. They're too valuable to burn. I don't know if I'm going to eat this on bread or crackers. I hadn't decided yet. I have not decided. All right, here we go. There's half of the apple. And I'll cut these others off here. And we will have the rest of it done. Somebody wrote in this week and said they have a gas stove and an electric stove in their kitchen. And they said, Miss Brenda, the electric stove cooks the biscuits better than the gas stove. And you know, I've been telling y'all all this time, when y'all say, how long do you cook it and do this, that, and the other? And I said, every stove is different. Every oven is different. And I've been telling y'all that and telling y'all that. Well, this lady wrote in and said she had both of them, and she can attest to they cook differently. Even electric stoves cook differently, and gas stove cooks differently. Y'all are going to have to watch your biscuits. You're going to have to stand there. You cannot go in another room and do something else. You're going to have to stay in there with it. All right, there's our apple. So we've got 5 celery ribs, 1 apple, 1 cup of pecans, and 4 huge chicken breasts. And we've got our mayonnaise, and we're fixing to mix all that up in just a minute. Okay, we've got our chicken out, and it's I'm gonna let it sit here in this plate and cool just a minute so I can cut it up. But anyway, I cut it in chunks, big chunks, so it can cool and cook better. And then we're gonna mix it together. I'm gonna let it cool for a few minutes. All right, chicken's cooled a little bit. I'm gonna just chop it up into kind of chunkies here. Not much, but just a little bit. You can cut it in squares or however you like it. I'm just going to cut it kind of little. Anyway, I was toasting my pecans, and I took my eyes off for a second, and a few of them got too black. I had to stand here and pick those out because I didn't want them to be in my salad. Let me show you what I did. See how black some of them got? But I've got the good ones right here. I've got the good pecans right there. I sure do. Anyway, I'm cutting this up kind of chunky. I'm going to put it in my pan, and we're fixing to mix this up. Then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, get it good and cold. And I will have something for everybody to eat for whenever they want to eat it. Just as a snack or whatever. The good thing about chicken salad is you can make a bunch up at a time. And I also saved my broth. I've got a whole cup of it back here that I'm going to do something with. I don't know what yet. I hadn't decided. I have not decided. All right, this is looking pretty good. Y'all can put anything you want to in your chicken salad. Some people like to put a little onion in it. I never do, but if you do, put it in there, y'all. I'm surprised that I don't put it in there as much as I love onions, but I don't. Somehow I just never learned to like onions in my chicken salad. I'd rather have the sweet stuff like the apples and grapes and pecans and things like that in there. It's almost like a fruit salad, isn't it? All right, let's see. Oh, here's a piece that needs cutting. I just put this on this morning when I first got up and let it boil while I was doing other things this morning. I've got to iron a tablecloth. Do y'all still iron? I hate that stuff. If I had to say what in the world I hated to do more than anything else, it would be to iron. I do not like it. But my mama, bless her sweetheart, she ironed everything. She ironed Daddy's underwear, his handkerchiefs, everything. And my clothes were always so ironed and fixed so pretty. She'd have them in my closet. They looked so good. And she would iron and iron. I had a friend in college. Her name was Vicki Burroughs. She's now Vicki Manus. She lives in Birmingham, Alabama. I think she was a librarian for quite a while. I don't know if she still is or not. I hadn't heard from her in about a year. But anyway, she loved to iron like my mama. And when we were in college, she would set up her ironing board in the hallway of the dorm. And Lord, she just ironed, and she was the best ironer you have ever seen. It looked like it was just brand new. The creases were so creased, and she would use starch. My grandmother used to make starch. It was a powder she mixed with some water or something. She would make it. And then what they would do is they would sprinkle the clothes. They had a Coke bottle with a thing that went down to the top of it that you'd sprinkle clothes with, and with water. And then they would roll those clothes up like this, real tight, put them in a bowl and put them in the refrigerator so that they would get cold, and then they'd iron them. And that was when we had solid cotton shirts that you had to. All right, I'm going to get over here now and get my bowl out. So I'll have that. I saw somebody I thought pulled it up out there. Maybe they'll find me. All right, I'm going to get my scooper here. What I did with that. Oh, I was going to try to be so organized for y'all today, and I'm not. Okay, here we go. We're going to put our chicken in first in this big old bowl right here. All right, let's get it all in. My chopping block needs to be about a foot longer or bigger or something. Okay, we got that in. Now, let me wipe this off a little bit before I pull my, get me a wet rag before I pull my bowl over here, because I certainly don't want to get chicken all over the bottom of my bowl, do I? All right. Gonna put my apples in. This is one apple. Look what a huge bowl this is making, y'all. I don't know what to do with my scooper. Here's my celery. 5 ribs of celery. And our pecans. What a huge bowl. Don't buy more chicken breast than you need, that's for sure. Let's put some pepper on it. I salted my chicken already. So what I'm going to do, after I put my mayonnaise, I'm going to taste it and see if it needs some additional salt. I'm not going to salt it right now. All right, that'd be enough pepper. I'm going to put my mayonnaise on it. Let me get me a spoon. Let me measure this for y'all, because if I don't, I know you're going to fuss. Let's see what this is. That's 3/4 of a cup. I don't want to use that. I might not need that much. Let me see what I've got in here. I've got some measuring cups. Let's see what this one is. Let's see what that is. That's 1/4 of a cup. Let's do it. That way we'll make sure how much we're putting in there. Because I'm afraid if I put too much, then I can't take it out. There's a black pecan I need to get out there. See? I missed him. Don't you hate it when you do that? I do. All right, let's see. This is 1/4 of a cup, so let's do some measuring here. Kind of, sort of. There's 1 cup. I mean 1/4 of a cup. And I know that's not going to be enough. Not with me liking mayonnaise like I do. This spoon just about holds 1/4 of a cup, doesn't it? So there's 1/2 a cup. I'm smear it around with the back of my spoon a little bit. And just fold it over. All right. That isn't enough. I'm going to have to get another spoon out. I don't want to stick that one back down in my... I don't want to stick that back down in my mayonnaise. Mess it up. All right, there's another one. That's 3/4 of a cup. I might as well just put in a cup, because I can tell I'm going to need it. See, this is what I tell y'all. When you get in your kitchen... Honey, use your 5 senses that God gave you to look, see, and taste, and smell. All right, this is a cup. Because you just can't tell, and you don't want to mess up all this stuff trying to figure it out, do you? All right, let's try this. Smear that around with the back of the spoon and then start folding it in. I like a lot on mine. Now, you can make other things to go in your chicken. You do it just exactly like your family wants to do it. I'm just trying to motivate you to make some. That doesn't have to be like mine. It can be like you like it. What do y'all think? It still looks a little dry to me. Does it look dry to y'all? What you think? What is that? That's a burnt pecan in there. Flow repeat. Well, I think we need more mayonnaise. And I hear you, I can actually hear you saying, at your house today, I can hear you saying, Miss Brenda, that does need more mayonnaise. You might as well put it in there. So, let's do. All right, let's start with a fourth of a cup again. All right, that's 1 1/4 cup. Did y'all listen to Bethany yesterday, Bethany Baptist, at the service? I put all the information in there for you that you could go on YouTube or you can go on Facebook under Bethany Andalusia and you can get our church service. All right, what do you think now? Does that look pretty good? I'm going to put in 1 more 4th of a cup. So this will be a cup and a half. There's just so much stuff in there, y'all. There's so much stuff that we've got to put enough mayonnaise to cover it all. We don't want it to dry out. And besides, this mayonnaise, what it does is it helps to keep your apples and everything else from turning dark. That's about the last of that jar. That's what it is. All right. There's 1 1/2 cups. I think that's going to be a plenty. Look at my hands. What a mess trying to do this. All righty. I think that looks good. I've got several of my children that love chicken salad. My grandchildren, the ones that love it the most are Bay and Isabella. They're the ones that like it the most. Matter of fact, I don't even know if Banks eats it. Seems like I'm thinking she doesn't. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bite. Well, that's too big a bite. I just taste it. The only reason I'm tasting it is for salt. It doesn't need any. I put plenty in there with the meat. It tastes good. And that's going to have to be it. That tastes good. Okay, there's our chicken salad. A big, huge bowl of it. We're going to enjoy. Now, when you fix yours, you put in yours what you like. Start with your good, tender chicken. Then keep adding what you like and make up your own recipe. This is my recipe, but you do your own. Love y'all. Have a great day. God bless you all. Bye-bye.